luckily or unluckily, I've been studying closing democracies for 12 years. So I recognized early on, once I realized New York State had emergency powers, I know from history that no one gives up emergency powers willingly.
That's right.
Whoa, damn, they're onto us.
And then we need to change our approach based on the science, not on their whims, on the numbers, on what we've learned. But we're not doing that. Public officials are instead, by and large, ignoring any evidence that indicts their policies or, critically, that might threaten their new and much-loved power. They don't want to know what the facts are. Indeed, some of them are even now, right now, promising even longer lockdowns, ones that extend maybe through the end of the summer, and even tougher punishments for those who disobey them. They're deploying drones to catch people who dare to go outside. Americans. This is insanity. It is definitely, and this cannot be stated emphatically enough, it is definitely not science. This is not science. It has nothing to do with the public's health, much less the broader public interest. This is instead what happens when mediocre people suddenly find themselves with godlike power, deciding who can go outside, when people can get married, which medical procedures you're allowed to have. That's a feeling of omnipotence, and they like that feeling. It fills an empty place inside. They don't want to give it up. They want it to last forever, even as the country dies.
Former Clinton advisor Naomi Wolf came on Tucker Carlson and warned that America is moving into a military coup situation due to all the authoritarianism happening because of the pandemic. You know it's bad when Clinton advisors are coming out and speaking out against the Democrats of today.
So I looked at Italy in the 20s, Germany in the 30s, Russia in the 30s, East Germany in the 50s, Czechoslovakia in the 60s, and Pinochet's coup in Chile in 73. And you see that there's this blueprint for crushing a democracy. So I wanted to sound a warning and alert Americans to what this blueprint looks like and how irreversible it is once you get to a certain point.
In a moment like this, where things are moving so quickly in a dark direction, you've got to wonder, where are the liberals? Where are our leaders, the people we elect to protect us from irrational and destructive overreach like what we're seeing now? Those people are gone. They've ceded all authority to those who describe themselves as scientists. Joe Biden admitted this out loud in August. Watch.
If you're sworn in come January and we have coronavirus and the flu combining, which many scientists have said is a real possibility, would you be prepared to shut this country down again?
I would be prepared to do whatever it takes to save lives, because we cannot get the country moving until we control the virus.
If the scientists say shut it down?
I would shut it down. I would listen to the scientists.
In Florida, we've shown that these lockdowns don't work. If you look at places like Illinois, New York, California, they have the COVID, some of it's way worse than Florida per capita.
But we also have to understand there's only one way to provide relief to the American people. That's to end the lockdowns. Study after study is telling us that they've made no difference in slowing the spread of the disease, but they've caused as many as 192,000 additional deaths through suicides, domestic homicides, drug and alcohol abuse, delayed health treatments, delayed health screenings, and increased poverty. And they've decimated what a year ago was the greatest economic expansion in our lifetimes, which was showing the strongest wage growth in 40 years and actually narrowing the income gap between the rich and the poor. I'd take out all of the support for state governments that have bankrupted themselves with their lockdown policies. They made that bed. They need to lie in it. That should not be the responsibility of the taxpayers in states that were well managed. The states are the ones that imposed these disastrous lockdown policies that have destroyed their economies and done irreparable harm to their constituents. They need to own up to that.
The terrible crisis that we're in, that we have to recognize under the guise of a real medical pandemic, we're really moving into a coup situation, a police state situation, and that's not a partisan thing. That, as you say, that transcends everything you and I might agree or disagree on.
Right.
That should bring together left and right to protect our Constitution. We're absolutely moving into what I call step 10. I wrote a book in which I pointed out there were 10 steps that would-be tyrants always take when they want to close down a democracy, whether they're on the left or the right. They always do the same 10 things. And now we're at something I never thought I'd see in my lifetime. You described it really, really well. It is step 10, and that's the suspension of the rule of law. That's when you start to be a police state, and we're here. There's no way around it.
You have been predicting this for a long time, you just said. Why don't you think others aren't seeing this?
Well, unfortunately, a lot of people are seeing it, but we're not unified. And as you pointed out, we're a very divided country for a lot of cynical reasons.